Outlet Liquor is your place to buy a case. Stock up and save when you shop the lowest prices available every day at Outlet Liquor. You never have to wait for a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Only at Outlet Liquor.
What's your outlet?
Folks, welcome to a brand new episode of Degenerate Danger Zone Live. Slick L, it's been a long time since we've done something like this. Show sponsor, New York's only Outlet Liquor. When you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. What's your outlet? Folks, we are so sorry. We are 8 minutes late. You thought I've seen it all in since COVID in 2020, since we've switched over to StreamYard, of reasons why we've been late for a show, but Slick L broke a new record today.
Yeah, audio seemed to be a big problem on Degenerate L's end, and come to find out my laptop was just on mute from when I was in class, slacking off watching Twitter videos, hoping I didn't get caught. So need to unmute every time I leave class now and avoid that problem. That was just really embarrassing on my end.
No, we are good. We are good. It is now 3:09 Eastern time, and we have a ton of action across the board today. 7 NBA games, UFC Vegas 63, World Series Game 2 at 8 p.m., 11 NHL games, college football all over the place. What Jake Paul, he's fighting tonight, right?
Yes,
and just when I thought Penn State had a chance to potentially knock off Ohio State is now up by 2 scores. No, yeah, Penn State needs 2 scores. It's about to be 30-21 after the extra point with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Slick.
Wow. And Syracuse, last time I checked, down with Notre Dame in Syracuse after what was looking like a really good game that they had last weekend against Clemson, almost knocked them off. And here they are, down a couple scores to Notre Dame now. I know.
Ooh, what the hell? Dude, it was just 24-17 Notre Dame. They've scored back-to-back touchdowns, and Cuse is getting routed at home.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. 38-17 Notre Dame now. It's like it's a beautiful day in Buffalo. I mean, seriously.
It is. We thought they were running out. Time was of the essence, and here we are getting another beautiful weekend.
Yeah.
After just a couple slack days.
Yep.
The early great weeks, 70s even in the fall, and now here we are back at what, like 65? It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. It's like, what do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about the Buffalo Sabres of the World Series?
How about we go to start with the game last night? Because
bro, did Maniac not call that?
Yeah, I mean,
he literally, I think Verlander was perfect through 3. Maybe there was a walk in there that I missed, but he's dominating, looks great. And you two both look at each other and you're still like, Verlander sucks. I'm like, I know. And Maniac's he goes, watch him not get past the 5th inning. And sure enough, he gives up 5 runs in 5 innings, and the Houston Astros at home with their ace on the hill lose game 1.
Incredible. And the nerfy hits after much discouragement on my end. You know how I feel about Verlander and those nerfies. I don't like him.
Yeah.
And he showed why, I guess, that collapse after the 3rd. And Phillies managed to get one out in 10 innings. Just incredible.
Yeah,
honestly.
No, just a big one because that Astros bullpen is so strong.
Right.
And
as we were talking about last night, too, you got Wheeler on the mound for game 2 now.
Oh, don't get Slick. Here's my game 2 thoughts, and I got a lot of them. 8 p.m. tonight. Phillies are slight underdogs. They're plus 120 at home. The over-under is 7. I don't know which play I like more, honestly. You look at the total of 7. I love the under. I think it's Wheeler this postseason has not given up more than 4 hits in a game. And any start this postseason, the team is 3-1 when Wheeler's on the hill. And now vice versa, Astros don't have any sample size off of Wheeler. I think there's only 3 batters on the entire team that have faced Wheeler in their lifetime. Phillies, on the other hand, are 5 for 37 collectively, 135 batting average lifetime against Valdez, who's starting for the Astros tonight. And the Astros have been an under team all year. I love the total 7, maybe tease it up to 7.5, put that under. I also love the Astros team total under. That total is 3.5. Love that under as well. all over the under in Game 2 of the World Series tonight in Houston after Game 1's over.
Yeah, I love that play, and if it would be funny if we did see a yes run first inning, but the under still hits here. But I think the Nerfy's probably in good play too. Might be a bit of juice there on that, but that's what we see in the playoffs, and you got to risk it for the biscuit with those Nerfies. Checking now to see actually.
Oh, and
Minus 140. So last night was 150, 160. So you're actually getting a little more value there.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that. Wheeler has been dominant. So
and Slick, let's be real though. It doesn't matter who's on the hill.
Yeah.
It could be the worst 2 starters. It could be the best 2 starters, and the Nerfy doesn't hit. You know what I mean? So exactly. It's just one of those things. But yeah, part of me thinks that I lean Philadelphia here. I do. I mean, they look like a team of destiny. They get it done last night in a 5-run comeback. That's got to be so deflating for the Houston Astros. And I really like them with, like I said, Wheeler on the bump. Not a lot of Astros have faced them. I lean Phillies, but I just love the team total unders for the Astros and the game under 7 for sure.
So Phillies team total also 3.5 around there.
Yes, they're both 3.5. Yep.
Yeah.
The total's sitting at 7 right now. So yeah, both since it's pretty much a pick 'em, both get to see 3.5.
Boring baseball, maybe like a 2-1 game. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's switch it over. NHL. The Chicago Blackhawks are in town. They're taking on the Buffalo Sabres tonight at the KeyBank Center. I checked right before the show, bro. The Sabres are now up to minus 200 on the money line. I told myself 2 nights ago, I'm never going to do it again. And obviously what happens, Sabres are coming off 2 straight losses. They ended their West Coast trip, loss. Then you have Montreal, who's arguably probably supposed to be one of the worst teams in the NHL this year. They lose. Can't even get it to overtime. Lose in regulation 3-2. And the Sabres were like, what, minus 190? This morning I checked, Sabres were minus 170. It's juiced up all the way to 200 now, man. Am I really going to do this again? Especially after Creek pick of the week makes his comeback and is on the Sabres tonight.
Yeah, he's on the puck line, which is, for like, I respect anything that Creek puts for Creek pick of the week, but that's a ballsy play. Sabres at home with that juice on them. I think they are due for a win here, but I could totally see it being a 1-score game.
Yep.
So, there is value plus 135 on that puck line I'm looking at. I know Creek said it was just -1 at the Creek at a point, which is kind of odd. But this concerns me. I think they do get a win though.
Yeah.
They showed heart at the end of that Montreal game, brought it back to a 2-2 game at a point, and then Montreal just gets like a goal with 3 minutes left, totally deflating. I think Biron was even talking about it, heavy skates after that road trip. They were traveling all day the day before to get back. Now they got a little bit of rest underneath their boots. And this is a Blackhawks team that's very beatable. So
yeah. And can I let me do a little chalk parlay? I love those. I've been trying to though I've been staying away from them. But the one with my 2 plays that I like with Talon Creek and liking that under, why not tease that Phillies Astros under from 7 to 8.5, which is minus 200, parlayed with the Sabres minus 200. That's plus 125. I kind of like that.
I like it.
Love that under tonight, but watch the Sabres break my heart just because I'm going to be in attendance. It would not shock me whatsoever.
Yeah, that'll only be your luck. But hopefully they can squeeze one out, and they're due for a win. Like I said, I think they showed heart at the end of that Montreal game, regardless of how it was just so up and down throughout that game. They had their shining moments, but they also had moments where they looked really bad.
Yep.
But that's coming off the West Coast road trip. So hopefully with some rest, they can get back into the winning column here.
Yeah. So let's take a look here. I know it's a slick Saturday, folks. UFC Vegas 63. Slick, what are you liking on this card?
Yeah, pretty sneaky good card actually for a free fights, prelims kicking off at 4. I love some chalk on Chase Hooper here. He's a young featherweight. He could be a contender within the next coming years. He's really impressed me in his last couple fights. Phil Hawes, Roman Dolidze. That might be a really good spot to look at the dog. I think Phil Hawes might have lied about his height to whoever measures that for the UFC because he had Dolidze had quite a couple inches on him in that face-off for this fight. Phil Hawes looked amazing though against Deron Winn in his last fight. Just incredible volume, incredible offense. We know that he's a striker, but Dolidze coming down, he's fighting at middleweight. I think he did fight at light heavyweight, but he only has one loss, and it was decision loss to Trevin Giles, who's a really good fighter. And Phil Hawes has shown flaws in his game. And Dolidze, you know, I think he really wants to. He's got 2 wins since that loss, so I really think there is value on the dog here. He's like plus 155. He just beat Kyle Dawkins in round 1 by TKO. You know, that's a huge win. And Phil Hawes, although he looked incredible in that last fight, Deron Winn is that was a decision victory. He was beating his ass the whole time, but that's nothing crazy. You know, Deron Winn, he's a wrestler, so I kind of expected that, but he did exceed expectations. But this main event, L, is going to be an amazing fight.
Yeah, I told you last night, I'm very excited for this fight. I've been watching Calvin Kattar a little bit, and yeah, it's pretty much a pick 'em.
Yeah, it has moved to about a pick 'em, and you know there might be some of that line movement with some money coming in now on Kattar, as that's resulting in that. You know, Arnold Allen with an impressive round 1 TKO. He put away Dan Hooker, who was coming down from lightweight to featherweight, and basically killed himself to get down to featherweight to make that weight. So not the most impressive win, but like it still is a huge statement win over a big name guy like Dan Hooker. Arnold Allen, though, every other win, it seems that he's had of late, mostly unanimous decisions. You know, he's not a great finisher. And Calvin Kattar is a guy that is very tough to put away. Basically got his ass kicked for 5 rounds by Max Holloway and still didn't go down, it seemed, which was just hard to watch, honestly. But, you know, this Calvin Kattar's been fighting what feels like 5-round fights now for like his last 4 or 5 fights.
Oh, dude, I love Kattar tonight. Love
Yeah,
it.
I love it too. I think he just has more output on offense in this fight. And Allen, I've said this to you before. I'm not a huge judge how the fighter will look come fight night just based on how they look on the scale, because I've seen people be totally wrong about that before. Like, oh, he looks drained. They said that about Brian Battle in his last fight coming down to welterweight. They were like, oh, he looks terrible on the scale. He comes out, gets a head kick victory in like 2 minutes.
Oh,
But Arnold Allen, I do have to say, did not look very healthy on that scale. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a loss here. He considers a move up to lightweight just because that's only a 10-pound difference in weight class. He didn't look good, man. He looked really dehydrated.
Yep.
And for your first 5-round fight ever in the UFC, that's not a fight you want to be coming into drained from a weight cut. The cardio is really going to catch up with you there. And against a guy like Kattar, who's basically fought 25 minutes in his last 4 fights. I just love Kattar in this fight. I think the cardio just wears on Arnold Allen. You know, maybe he can sneak a 1 or 2 rounds go his way, but yeah, the value is there on Calvin Kattar, and I think he gets this win.
Yeah, and like the slick at the creek, the over under 4.5 rounds, the over 4.5 is minus 148. So people think this is going to go the distance all 5 rounds.
That doesn't surprise me either, because although Allen has only been fighting 3-round fights, he has gone to decision quite a bit, and it's not like his cardio's bad. I think, and Kattar's not necessarily known for being a huge finisher either.
Yep.
Arnold Allen with only 1 loss on his record and undefeated in the UFC. Actually, I don't think Cater gets a finish here. But yeah, I think we see 5-round war. Similar to, I think this might be similar to the Cater Holloway fight, only in favor of Cater. So we see an ass whooping for a good 20 minutes. Maybe Allen gets one round under his belt, but yeah, the Cater is incredible value. I got him last night at even money, so I'll
Wow.
take
Okay.
that every time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, Slick, anything else that you're looking at? I know there's, like I said, a lot of sports going on in the world right now. NBA, NHL, Jake Paul, Silva. Anything else you want to talk about? You want to bring up?
I do think we would be remiss if we didn't mention Jake Paul going against a 47-year-old Anderson Silva. Oh jeez.
Oh
God, who's calling me? But Anderson Silva, the funny thing happened this week. He gets interviewed by someone, and he says he's been training with younger guys, like young boxers, for this fight, and he said he got knocked out twice in training camp.
God. Okay.
And then the athletic commission is like, hang on, that's not good. We should probably be investigating if he should even be fighting in this fight. And they declared he's good. Anderson backtracked on his statement, said he was joking. I'm not really sure where the joke is in saying something like that in an interview.
Yeah.
And we saw how Anderson Silva's UFC career came to an end.
Yeah.
It's just tough to watch these young up and coming middleweights putting him away, finishing what is probably one of the best mixed martial artists of all time. And he's still Anderson Silva. We will see flares of amazing head movement and striking in this fight here.
Yep.
But after seeing how Jake Paul knocked out Tyron Woodley, who's a tough guy to put away in himself, Anderson's just too old, man. I think that punching power of Jake and speed, I think he gets a KO here. I really do. Yeah. Adds another to the record, but there are some questions going into this fight, so people won't give him the credit where it's due, even if he does get that knockout.
And yeah, Jake Paul now on DraftKings is up to minus 245. So you see where that line movement's going.
Yeah. I think over under 4.5 rounds. The over is a little favored there. I'm not sure how many rounds this fight is, which would be a good question because that might be interesting. Jake by decision is where the odds makers are leaning. I think it's plus 180 or around there. Okay. I love the KO prop though. 2-1 dog. I think that's incredible value. I missed out on it last time. And after that knockout against Tyron Woodley, I was like, okay, until he faces a legitimate boxer, I think I'm going to dabble Jake by KO in all of his fights because he slapped Tyron Woodley. Yeah. Like not moving for a good 10 minutes. It was incredible. You can say his fights are fixed all you want. I think the kid has legit skill.
But we can both agree he's got to fight someone who's like kind of right. Like you're fighting. Yeah.
I think he's willing to, like boxers just tend to do this. And like the fact that he has such a big name doesn't help in his favor.
Yeah.
Who is Floyd Mayweather fighting when he had 4 fights under his belt? That's a great question.
True.
Probably a guy who I don't even know, but you got to.
But Floyd Mayweather and Jake Paul are two totally different.
Yeah, absolutely. But the point is, boxers really do pad their record, and Jake has been fighting legitimate guys, probably more legitimate than a lot of people that are just turning pro or fighting in their 4th fight. It just happens that they're not actual boxers, most being mixed martial artists. And Jake is a very hateable dude, so people can find any way to critique that they can.
Yep.
So I would love to see the Tommy Fury fight, but it seems like that's not going to happen. Tommy pulled out twice, which is funny, like that's an actual boxer, but doesn't that make you think like he just doesn't want anything to do with Jake Paul?
Yeah, no, and you're right, man. I agree with you.
It's interesting because I think a lot of these actual boxers realize that, like, if they go in there and catch one lucky right hand from Jake, their career changes monumentally.
You're right. These guys like Silva, who you just mentioned? Why can't I think of his name?
Woodley.
I mean, for these guys, would you kind of say like they're obviously willing to lose because look where they're at in their career, and also it's a kind of a big payday. Like it's
totally, yeah,
exactly, it's free money.
exactly.
So.
Yeah, it's free money. It is
Right. So
47-year-old Anderson Silva already like dabbling in a boxing career.
Yeah.
He's got a couple wins under his belt.
Yep.
But yeah, like you said, this is a huge payday. Anderson's probably walking away with a few million from fighting this kid. So.
So, couple last minute thoughts that I wanted to bring up too. Looks like Ohio State they're moving on. They're now up 12 with 2:52 to go. Cuse is down 17 with under 2 to go. And then looking around the NHL real quick, it's been a weird start, man. Avalanche have 4 losses. The Knights are leading their division off to a 7-2 start with Eichel. The Atlantic is pretty much everyone's all tight there. You got the Bruins with 16 points. Everyone else is between like 10 and 8, obviously including the Sabres, Canadians, everyone there. And the Flyers and Devils are in first place in the Metro. Like, it's October hockey, folks. It's so wacky and crazy right now. You know, I'm not trying to overreact about teams and losses and wins too early, but go Sabres tonight. I hope they get it done. Calvin Cater is our pick for UFC in the main event there. I'll let you guys know if I do that parlay, though. I really love the World Series under 8.5 parlayed with the Sabres money line. That's currently plus 128. And I'm thinking I want to throw Cater on that, but at the same time, I'm probably just going to do Cater separate. So.
Yeah, I mean, with the value, it'd be kind of hard to mix him into a parlay. You'd really regret it if that was the leg in the parlay.
And Arnold Allen wins in 5 rounds.
Yeah, right.
Split decision, like
fight. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, no
thanks. Do you like anything in college football later on at all? We got Tennessee and Kentucky and I
was looking at that. It's like there's a ton of huge spreads. Georgia's minus 23.5, Tennessee's minus 11.5, Michigan minus 22.5. I really don't have much, honestly, in college football today. My big plays are in the World Series and the Sabres game. I'll be tailing Creek.
Yeah, I think I'll be tailing Creek as well. Go Sabres. Calvin Cater, Boston's own. So I agree. I think if anything, I'd lean Tennessee to cover against Kentucky.
Yep.
After how they looked last weekend. But other than that, not really huge on anything else. I was considering dabbling on West Virginia, and they made it a 3-point game now with about 3 minutes left. So see how that goes.
Yeah.
Up against TCU in West Virginia. But other than that, not really on the college football slate. And Syracuse is a prime example of why I don't typically dabble on college football. But hey.
Yeah. Nope. And that's we're not even allowed to bet it here, which is great too, right?
Exactly. So
didn't even bet Syracuse. And I would have taken Syracuse today because I'm anti.
Oh, dude, I totally would have taken them last week. Probably the spread, but if I took the money line, I know I would have been so pissed at myself after how that game played out. So in a way, we should probably be thankful that we can't bet on them, but
exactly,
it is what it is.
So thank you everyone for joining us. The show is sponsored by New York's only outlet liquor. When you need to stock up, it's the place to buy a case. Oh my God, what's your outlet? Oh my God, Penn State just threw another pick 6.
Oh no.
The route is on. But like I said, thanks for joining us. Slick and I might be back tomorrow. Packers, Bills isn't until Sunday Night Football. It's not a 1 p.m. typical start. So might be back tomorrow recapping what we did today and hopefully have some locks tomorrow. But thank you for joining us. Good night. Now.
Outlet Liquor is your place to buy a case. Stock up and save when you shop the lowest prices available every day at Outlet Liquor. You never have to wait for a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Only at Outlet Liquor.